Hey everybody, I want to go over chapter 3 with you, communicating nonverbally. Now, this is a chapter that we should all be very familiar with. Nonverbal is a component that goes along with verbal communication, chapter 2. And remember, when we talk about verbal communication, it's very hard to separate the nonverbal because verbal and nonverbal play together. They kind of go hand in hand. So, in keeping that in mind, just remember that the verbal message and the nonverbal message go together. So, I think in real world, maybe you think of nonverbal communication being body language. So, think about that in the back of your mind as we go through this information. It's going to be a number of factors. Some of these factors are going to be how you might repeat something. Think about, like, if you were talking about a car crash and maybe you bang your hands together as you talk about how that car crashed into another car. That banging that you do with your hands is going to be repeating that nonverbal message that you're doing at that moment. So that is a repeating nonverbal message. Maybe you are emphasizing something, so maybe you're really excited, and so to emphasize that, maybe you're going to clap, maybe you're going to kind of jump for joy. That's going to emphasize your message. It can also kind of compliment. Do some kind of embrace, maybe, that is going to also reiterate the love that you have for another person. It can also kind of contradict. Maybe if you're telling somebody that you're having a really good day and you're really happy, but you're also crying, it's going to be a contradictory message that you're sending because of the nonverbal message that you've got going on along with your verbal message. It could substitute. Maybe instead of saying what it is that you want to say, maybe you just give a nonverbal message. Maybe you are trying, let's say that you're standing beside somebody and you don't want to say what you're wanting to say to the person that is standing across from you. It's a 3-person conversation. So maybe you're nodding, like, yes, I want to do that, but you don't want the person standing beside you to see you, so you kind of substitute that you want to say yes, so you add that nonverbal message in as a substitute for that verbal message. You can also do it to regulate. Maybe you heard my child just run in. I held up a hand to her to go out so that she would be quiet. As a message to stop, be quiet, I'm trying to record, don't say anything because everybody in my class will hear you at this point. Maybe it can kind of regulate a conversation or regulate some kind of message. So that's how we use our nonverbal messages. And so that brings us kind of to the handshake. A handshake is a very powerful thing. A handshake is used all of the time. Think about the handshakes that you've received. Think about the handshakes that you've given. Do you like a wimpy, wet handshake? Do you prefer a firm handshake? And how firm should that handshake be? I mean, a handshake is a very important thing. A handshake could maybe be that thing that seals the deal for you and gets you the job. A handshake is a very key component. So we should always refine and work on our handshake. It's a big nonverbal factor in the business world. So think about it. Something to kind of consider in your day-to-day activities. Some other things that kind of send nonverbal messages about us: the way you dress, the things that you put on in the morning, what you wear, how you wear it. Does it advertise some kind of company, some kind of message? Does it have like the I don't know, the message t-shirts? Are you saying something? Any of that's going to tell something about you. The verbal cues, how you say it, the tone that you say, the dialect that you use, all of those tell us a little bit more about you. How you use touch. Do you touch? Are you a hugger? All of those components add to your story. A lot of people, as they talk, will touch you as they talk, or maybe they laugh and they touch you as they laugh. All of that kind of adds to the story. Time is another nonverbal factor. Do you know a person that is always late? Maybe that is their controlling mechanism. That is how they send messages to you, by the fact that they are going to be habitually late all of the time, just no matter what, late. How you use space, if they are right beside you, that indicates an intimate relationship. You guys are extremely close, feel very comfortable with one another. Maybe you're not so close with that person and you try to get away from them. You need to have that more friend zone there, and now you find yourself kind of scooting around the room trying to get away from them. There are rules that you should follow when it comes to giving one their own kind of space bubble, if you will. Physical attractiveness. We do things to ourselves in order to make ourselves look a certain way, and how we alter ourselves gives some nonverbal feedback to other people. In addition, the way you move and carry yourselves and the facial movements that you do when you have a conversation, how you carry on, all of that adds to the nonverbal message that goes on. All of these slides just kind of indicate what I just went over. So you can go through this. I'm posting this for you. Which brings us to Big Bang. Now, you can go through and watch this. It's a very funny little clip. Go ahead and watch this clip. It's going to give you a little bit of some tips. Penny is giving Sheldon some tips on how to be more open to his audience in his little flags videos that he posts online. So watch that. It's a good little example about some nonverbal cues. It's kind of funny too. Now, the reason why we have so many miscommunications is that one nonverbal code, one nonverbal message has many different ways to interpret it. A smile does not necessarily always mean that one person is happy. You could be hiding a lot behind a smile, and that's why we have so many problems with it. We're not great deciphers of these nonverbal cues, so it can be kind of tricky. We always have to kind of consider the context, the situation. All of these other factors play a huge vital role when it comes to deciphering the nonverbal code. So consider that. And that is the conclusion to Chapter 3. I will post this along with a couple of other videos. One video in particular talks about power and how that is used in entering and exiting the room. You'll notice that politicians are very funny when it comes to how they use power, and how the most powerful person is always the last person to enter the room. It's kind of funny. There's just very short clips. One's about 3 minutes and the other one is about 2 minutes. So I hope this is helpful to you as you study up for the test. Good luck, you guys.